kids are bored or they are sleep deprived or dehydrated, they tend to want to eat more. And so, with a family of 5 or more people in a house, that can get really costly and also frustrating to feel like you're living in the kitchen, always preparing snacks. What are some healthy options for a family who feels like they're just constantly eating all day?
Sure. So I would say in that case, be mindful of what sort of packaged and processed foods kids are consuming because they burn through those really quickly. If you can focus on trying to have the complement of some protein and maybe a healthful fat at each snack or meal opportunity, that's going to help keep kids full longer and help their emotions be regulated, which we all appreciate at this time, especially. So some go-to snacks for kids, I think cheese and crackers, hummus and veggies, nut butter and sliced fruit, apples and peanut butter are always a good go-to. The good old ants on a log, some peanut butter on some celery with raisins. All of those things are going to help. If your kids are interested in having smoothies, that's a great way to maybe throw in some yogurt or some protein powder, get some fresh fruits and veggies in there. But those are things that are going to help prevent crash and also help kids feel full longer. We just need to be mindful that those things like goldfish crackers and granola bars that are store bought, while they might be a quick go-to option and it's okay to have those some of the time, if kids are turning to those every time they're hungry, it's just going to increase their hunger. And those processed foods are designed to taste really good. So it is going to release some chemical signals in your brain to want more of those. So just trying to get as much of the natural whole foods as possible and making sure kids have some protein. Those are important things to consider.
Yeah, and what I hear you saying is that it's important to first prioritize the whole natural foods and then also letting them have those store-bought snacks as a backup or a third and fourth down the line option rather than sticking to this like absolute rule where it's only all natural foods and no store-bought processed foods. I hear you saying that if you're filling them up with the whole natural foods first, then the goldfish and the graham crackers won't replace that what we initially need to fill ourselves up with. So I really like hearing that it's not about restricting food or keeping bad foods out. It's about just that moderation piece.
Yeah, and as we start to make those healthful choices, we tend to crowd out the other decisions, which is really what we want to have happen, especially for kids. So if they are starting to reach for those more healthful options more frequently, then they're less frequently going to be reaching for the other options. So yeah, but absolutely nothing off limits. And one thing I'm hearing right now from some friends in the nutrition community is just that kids might not have access to things that they're used to right now. And so reminding kids and having some language for them, if their favorite snack isn't available right now, saying things like, hopefully we'll have that again soon. And why don't you try this? Or this is what we're having for lunch today. And, maybe soon we'll have some of the other things that you like. And trying to keep a playfulness around food, especially for young kids, and letting them try new things right now, I think is important because we might not have everything in our fridge and pantry that we typically do.
Yeah, it's a trying time for everybody. So I can absolutely hear that and appreciate the families who are having to do with what's in the house rather than running to the grocery store to pack up on all of the best options. And it teaches our kids resiliency. It teaches them that not everything is at our disposal and that we have to make do with what we have. And I know in my household, we're not wasting food anymore, that leftovers everyone is eating. And even if you don't like to eat scrambled eggs from the fridge a day later, they're still good enough to eat. So there's a life lesson here if we really just try to change our perspective a little bit. Not a scarcity mindset that there's no food, but that, the basic needs can be met for a while without having to always have the privilege of the most and the best.